Hey y'all, hey! It's your girl Ronnie Dior, and we are getting ready to kick off 14 Days of Love virtual conference for the 23. Come on, somebody. So, yes, I started a little bit early just to make sure y'all came on in the room. Okay, giving y'all a chance to log on in, come on through, see what we finna do, see what we finna talk about, win these raffles, and get on up out of here. Hello, somebody. If you think we're going to be before you long, you're wrong. But we will be strong. Hello, somebody. All right, all right, all right. So we're going to give it just a little time to come on through. I would have some music available, but I don't want y'all to get kicked off of Facebook because I don't have copyrights. So, hey, Ingrid, how are you? Glad for you to be here, Lady Epi. That's right. Come on, come on, come on in the room. Come on, I see you. And we're going to have a great time. Hello, Avery. Hello. Got that the man perspective on board tonight. Got the men's in the building. Go grab a friend. Make sure, if you can, share this video. You can, copy the link and share it on your Facebook page or wherever you have a social presence so that they can also join in tonight because those who have not registered yet will get a chance to register tonight, but tonight only because after tonight, registration is completely closed. Hello, Brandy. Hello, hello, hello. We're giving the lovely people time to get in, time to realize we are on, and time to come on in the room. We're giving them a chance. Please forgive me if for my sniffles and what may have you. My body attempted to try to get sick so I don't come through with this 14 days of love. But you see, we here. So thanks be to God. But I will be taking sips of water in between just to make sure that my throat is okay. But come on, come on, come on. It's going to be a great night, but it won't be a long night. It will be great, but it won't be long. So come on, grab your notebooks and your pen because there will be some tips and homework at the end that I would like for you to practice. I mean, it's not a conference if you're not doing any work, right? Taking any notes, right? So make sure you have what you need so you can get that good old blessing on tonight. Thank you. Thank you, Epi. Hello there. Hello there. Quick little plug, our massive mobile window tinting has logged in, and they also are going to be a part of as a guest this conference. However, they will tint your windows or your business windows. Just contact them. They do a great job. Shameless plug, but it's my conference, so I can. Come on in the room. The guys are showing out, the women are showing out. Why? Because we know that self love is not gender based. What? Who said that? Self love is everyone based and is necessary. So come on in the room. Share the link if you can, because again, I did open up registration for 2 night only. So that way, if you missed the chance to register, you get one more chance to get in the door. But after tonight, the door is closed for registered guests only. And you guys, you don't want to miss these nuggets. You don't want to miss these deep conversations with our special guests. And you don't want to miss these raffles. So get into it. Come on, come on, come on. We are here. We are live. We are ready. We're going to give you guys just a couple of more minutes to see slide on through. So while you're waiting, get your notebook. Hey, Tamika, get your notebook, get your pen because it's going to be notes. I want you to write down some of these tips, these points, so that you can get into loving yourself. I'm excited too. I'm excited too. So we're going to come in, like I said, music would have been nice, but I don't want anybody streaming on Facebook to get shut down. So, and since I am streaming on the Ronnie Dior YouTube channel, as well as the Dior Movement Facebook page, and wherever you may be sharing this to, I do not own the copyrights to any music. So I don't want to get you shut down. So excuse me if there's no Mary J. Be happy playing in the background. Play it in your minds. It's all right. All right, all right, all right. We're getting to the moment. We're getting to the moment. Giving your friends a little bit more minute to step on in. Give you guys a second to crawl on through. Like I said, we're not going to be long, but we definitely will be strong. Definitely will be strong. Definitely will be strong. I love Mary too. So we're going to give it just a few more minutes. A few more minutes. How are you all doing on tonight? I hope it's a good night. I know it's the middle of the week, it's hump day, but it also means it's almost over, right? And it's Black History Month. Hello, somebody. It is I Am Proud to Be Black Month. It is I Am Black History Month. It is My Black is Beautiful Month. It is Black Power, Black Pride Month. Hello, somebody. That's what it is. It is my Melanin is Poppin' Month. Okay? So happy Black History Month to you all. And happy Love Month as well. What a good way to start off Black History. We're talking about loving yourself, especially when right now in the Black culture, loving yourself can be a little interesting because of what's coming against us. So at no point do I want you to stop loving the skin that you're in because of what the world wants to try to say. Because at the end of the day, you are beautiful, you are lovely, you have worth, you have purpose. So why not start off with self love? All right, you guys. All right, you guys. We are 5 minutes past the hour. And we're going to go ahead and get into it because, like I said, we are going to be strong, not long. So, welcome to 14 Days of Love virtual conference. Yes, I am here for it. And you guys are here for it as well. It is a singles and couples conference. We will be addressing the singles in the first half, or you individually, we'll say that, because I want to make sure that even if you are a couple, you still could be a part of the first part because in your coupleship, you are still an individual and you still need to learn to love yourself and make sure that you are whole in that couple, in that unit. And then the second half is directed towards marriage. The individuals can be a part of the marriage as well because if you're seeking marriage, if you're newly married, if you're 20 years in, if you're 30 years in, there's still more nuggets and things that you can get out of it. So, what a great conference, right? Something for both halves. But before we get into tonight's topic, we have some house rules. Number one, if you've registered for the conference, you will get an email tomorrow with the link to the remainder of the conference. Today are lives, and anyone has access to those because they're going to be on a social media platform. But there's so many other components to this conference that only those who have registered will receive the link to actually be able to be a part of. That is your full access pass. So make sure if you are not registered, you get registered. Registration has been reopened and it will close at midnight tonight. So get on in there. If you have a friend that you think will benefit, share with them, tell them to get on in there. If you're boo, share with them, make it get on in there. Whoever you think will benefit from this, share it with them so they can get on in before the door gets closed. All right. Point number two, only registered guests are entered into the room. raffle. So even though we'll be live on social media on certain nights, only those who have registered will be entered into the raffle. The final day with our Love Without Works is Dead full male cast, that is the only day where the raffle will be opened to any man that is viewing live. Okay? That's the only day. So we have 8 other raffles. Make sure you register. Number 3, although I am a licensed mental health therapist, this conference does not replace receiving therapeutic services from your own licensed therapist. I'm going to say that again. Even though I am a licensed mental health therapist, this conference does not stand in the gap. It doesn't replace it. It stands in the gap. It helps bring it to an awareness or importance for you to seek your own licensed therapist. Okay. I encourage you, if you don't and you feel like you need to, reach out. The topics we will discuss will introduce techniques. We will have some interesting and much needed conversations that sometimes we skid over or hide from or really don't want to go there. Not with Ronnie Dior. Not with your girl. We're going to have some reflective questions because I need you to think on some things and actually be true and real with yourself in order to heal. And we're going to have various guests from different walks of life coming and speaking on particular topics, right? And finally, this conference, we're going to unpack, we're going to get real, we're going to go deep. Why? Because my motto is if you want to heal, you gotta keep it real. So, welcome to week 1, Love Thyself. I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. All right. Can anyone or would anyone like to put in the chat what self love or loving yourself means? Whenever you hear somebody talk about self love or you need to love yourself, what is it? What do you think that means? What do you hear when you hear someone say that? Come on, talk to me. Talk to me. Drop it in the chat. Drop it in the chat. And I'll post the question just so making sure everyone understands. There we go. What does self love mean to you? Okay. Massive Mobile says putting yourself first. And that's interesting because that's why a lot of people struggle with self love and self care. But that's good. That's good. Putting yourself first, saying nice words and uplifting yourself in words, says Tammy. Tamika says taking care of yourself. And Brandon says, putting myself first and choosing me daily. Avery, taking time out to nurture yourself. These are all very good concepts. It sounds like you guys have a healthy understanding of the importance of loving yourself. So let's introduce what Prophet Webster has to say about this. He says, it's an appreciation of one's own worth or virtue, a proper regard for and attention to one's own happiness or well being. Now, that was deep. Appreciation of your worth or your virtue, and a proper regard for and attention to your own happiness. Ooh, that's a little taboo right there, huh? That I can be happy too. I don't just have to be whatever somebody needs from me or what they want from me, but I can also put value and bring attention to things that make me happy and require it, desire it, want it. Does that make me selfish? That doesn't make me not care about what my family and my friends want. That's a good point, Massive Mobile. If you don't take care of yourself, you cannot care for others because you're going to go down. A burnout does exist. You don't have to burn out just at the workplace. You burn out with your family too. Hold on one second. See, when you look in the mirror, the reflection you see is the value and the worth you have assigned yourself to. Now, I want you to put a blue heart in the chat if you've ever struggled with seeing worth when you look in the mirror. And I'm not talking about today, but if it happened today, put a blue heart. But I'm talking about just ever, just at any point in time of your life, put a blue heart in the chat if you've ever struggled to see your worth when you looked in the mirror. I know I have. I can drop a blue chat in there right now. I don't know if you're on your computers, you may not be able to drop a blue chat, but you can say, it is me, it is I. If you can't drop the heart, just say it is I have. Because there are times when we were teenagers in our early adult life, 2 months ago, last week, something caused us to question our worth, caused us to question our value, caused us to wonder, am I really worth? Especially when people treat you a certain kind of way. You have to be like, do do they not see, And then it makes you wonder, how do you have that worth? Now, when you look in the mirror, who's looking back at you? Is it a person of value? Is it somebody of worth? Is it someone you love? Or is it someone you hate? Someone who struggles to look at themselves because of lack, shame, doubt, or every time you look in the mirror, everything you've ever done wrong looks back at you. Low self worth, low self esteem looks back at you. When was the last time you stopped and looked in the mirror and said to yourself, I love you? I'm beautiful. My body is not someone else's playground to do with what they want and how they want, when they want. My life is not someone else's shame. No matter how you came into this world, no matter how you were treated when you got in this world, your life is not someone else's shame. They may feel away, but when you look at yourself, there's purpose. No matter how you got here, there was purpose for you. Your value is not in someone else's eyesight. Now, let me ask a different question. Can anybody put in the chat what it means to have self worth or value? That's a little different from self love because self love is, appreciating yourself, being drawn attention to yourself, loving on yourself, making sure that you are, understand that you should be cared for, you should be loved on, and then speaking those things. But what does it mean to have self worth? Yeah, reflection of yourself in the mirror can open old wounds because that's what you still see. But eventually, hopefully, with this homework tonight, those old wounds will stop opening up because the old wounds will want you to still see that old person, but you're not them anymore. So you have to speak something different until you see something different. It's not easy, but it's worth it. So, what does self worth mean? How do you find yourself worthy? How do you tell yourself you have value? How do you say to yourself that and it gets someone else to believe that? Master Mobile said your capabilities can enhance your self worth. Yes, because you acknowledge you got talent. You bring something to this world. You're not just worthless. There's no, nothing that you're not providing. Avery said to find yourself valuable. You are priceless. There is a price on you. You got to put the price on you. You're not for sale. You're not on clearance. Hello, somebody, which means you're not for everybody. That includes friends, that includes romantic partners, that includes business partnership. You're not for everybody. Stop putting yourself in a clearance rack. That's what value and self worth means. Brandy, knowing that I'm good enough and worthy of love. That is the value. That is the worth. That is knowing that you're pouring in to yourself because we cannot assume someone else will. Now, what you label the person that you see in the mirror is your worth. It is your measure of desirability, value, or importance. The unfortunate part is that we oftentimes see what somebody else labeled us as when we look in the mirror, what somebody else spoke into our lives when we look in the mirror, how somebody else valued us, which is usually below what your value was when we look in the mirror, what somebody else said that we could have, could not do, we could have, could not be, how we looked, how we, all the things. Unfortunately, that's what we begin to see when we look in the mirror. Now, follow me on this. Put an orange heart in the chat if you've ever looked at the mirror and what you saw was based on what somebody else said, what somebody else called you or did to you or spoke over you or made you feel like. Put an orange heart in the chat if you can. And if you can't, just put I have. I know I have. I know I have. And that's the part about a mirror. That's the part about a reflection. We begin to see ourselves based on what someone else has conditioned our eyesights to see. It's not that you just think lowly of yourself. It ain't that you didn't just wake up one morning and decided to, think low. It's that others have been defining you and labeling you for so long that over time, their eyes have become your eyes. And in the hopes of measuring up, you lost your own eyesight. And now you're fixing yourself up based off of what they said you should be, based off of what they said you should look like, what they said you should be doing by now, who they say you should be with, what they value you as. All of a sudden now, you see yourself the way they have been spoken for years. And in part two, you start improving yourself to measure up to what they continue to say and what they continue to see. But you don't know your eyesight. You don't know exactly what you're looking at until you appreciate the value of being you. There's value in being you. The reason how I know this is because I wouldn't try to talk and make you see different if I didn't see value in you. If I didn't see nothing in you, I ain't got to speak against what I see because there's already nothing in you. But if I see value, if I see purpose, if I see divineness, oh, I don't want you to see that because if you see it, you'll be it. So I got to speak opposite so you can see what I see so you won't be it. So there's value. You have gifts for this world and you have a purpose in this world. You have things that this world needs. And most of all, this world needs you. Genesis chapter 1, verses 26 to 27 talks about when God made man. He said, let's make humankind in our likeness. If that ain't the biggest honor and flattery. There was no other image worthy of imitating. He chose to see himself. He chose to see Jesus Christ in you. So he said, let's make you in our image, your virtue, your value, your worth. He created it. We are a reflection of the best thing. And when he made you, he called it very good. He called it very good. He said, I see me when I look at you. So I can't see less than because I'm not less than. So I can't see less when I look at you. I see more. I see greater. We were all made in his image, and no matter what you have been through, it doesn't define you. It doesn't define you. And it also won't continue to be all that you see when you look in the mirror. The things you've been through, they may have left some scars. They have ugly reminders. But when God sees them, he sees beauty marks, things that you travailed through, your strength, things that you've overcome, your purpose and your design. Because what you've gone through, you can use it because all things work together for the good. Hello, somebody. Listen, somebody who has been through a lot, all things work together for the good. I'm going to share a little story time with you. There was a moment in my life when I would look in the mirror and I would see a black, dark skinned, ugly little girl who was undesirable and could never measure up to her friends. So I would accept second rate. I would even put myself on clearance because I felt like, I couldn't get what was best. So I'll take whatever came my way. As an adult, at some point, like through teenage years, I kind of got to this point of speaking life over myself and just pouring into myself. But we gonna be honest, right? I said, keep it real to heal. As an adult, some of that stuff came back, as they will. Some of the stuff came back. And I began to wonder where my worth was, what my value was. I see everybody doing this. I still see this sometimes. And I had to unpack that low self worth. I had to stop believing what other people were trying to put in me because, see, they took it from me. I got it back. They were trying to take it again because you see value, you see worth, you see purpose. And it's not even just the people, it's the enemy trying to kill, steal, and destroy. He got that assignment over your life: kill, steal, destroy. If he can destroy your image, the way you see yourself, if he can kill your spirit, then he has stolen you. He stole your mind. He stole your eyesight. He stole your position. He stole your place. Self esteem. That's where it's coming from because you have valued and found worth in who you are. And you've come against when people say you're not. And so understanding the whole concept, the whole thing is to steal the value of who you are, still who you see in the mirror. Now, I know it's not a quick fix, right? It's not an overnight sensation, but it can be done. It can be done. Even if you're still in a situation where people are trying to speak certain things and you're looking at yourself and seeing yourself a certain kind of way, you can come out of that. You don't have to continue seeing yourself as this individual. Seeing all the scars don't make you ugly. You fought through that though. You're still here. There's still value attached to you. So, how do we begin to fix that? Well, at this point, we got to talk to the man in the mirror. We have to talk to the man in the mirror. Somebody talk back to me and tell me if there have been times where the man in the mirror's voice was louder than the voice you was trying to give it. Or if you look in the mirror and actually see somebody that God made and that's worth adding value to. Because wherever you are now Add value. Add value. Put a price tag on that thing. Put a price tag on you. Raise your standard. Raise how you view you. Anybody got anything they want to say thus far before we move on to how we're going to change the person we see when we look in the mirror? That man in the mirror must change. I know Massimo says self-esteem is imperative, and it is. It's a constant everyday thing though. It is not pride and it's not boasting when you try to speak and encourage yourself about what you have going on and who you are in God and what you're made of and your greatness is keeping you full. So when the enemy tries to come in with an alternative thought, an alternative sight, you have something to combat him with. Because you're not empty, so that he can just pour in whatever he wants. So does anybody have anything to say about what has been addressed so far? From what we see in the mirror, valuing ourselves, how what we've been through sometimes causes us to see that every time we look in the mirror. Talk to me, talk to me. Talk to me, talk to me. Okay. If no one has anything to say on this part, let's go to the part where you're going to need your pen, notebook, whatever paper you're going to write this thing on. We are getting ready to have an eye exam because although we know when we look in the mirror, some of these things we see, how do we stop seeing these things? We have to have an eye exam. We have to correct our eyesight. So, here's step one. Okay. Avery said, when we speak to that man in the mirror, we make a declaration of what we are to become. That's correct. That's correct. Because what you may see, don't get tripped over that. If you don't see greatness, don't get tripped up over that. Speak until you see what you have spoken. The 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 value and importance of self-talk, y'all. People have been talking over you, which we will talk about tomorrow when we talk about the voice of value. People have been speaking over you this whole time. What about what you say? What about how you speak? That alters the man in the mirror because if what they said made you see something, what you say is going to make you see something. See, we put too much pressure on how things should change. It's simple, but it's going to take some work. It's simple, but it will take work. It will take consistency. It will take you being intentional. So, step one, see what you see. Shut the door, spend some time alone, looking in the mirror. Just you and your reflection. Take the time to see what you see. Write down whatever labels come up, whatever thoughts come to your mind. Write it down. Don't try to write down what you see when you look in the mirror. Then take that list and ask yourself, whose label, words, or thoughts are these? Because, baby, they didn't originate with you. Let's get to the origin. Who said it first? Who saw it first? Was it your friends? Your ex? A family member? A coworker? A frenemy? Was it society? Did God say it? When you look in the mirror, what do you see and who put it there? This is the part where I want you to try to identify whose eyes you're looking out of, whose eyesight have you been viewing yourself all this time? Then ask yourself if it's actually true. Is what you see from their point of view actually true? Hmm? So, number one, see what you see and write it down and ask yourself, where was the first time you heard that? Who was the first person that said that? Who eyes are you viewing yourself through? Number two, who do you want to see? Now, write down who you want to see when you look in the mirror. When the man in the mirror looks back at you, who do you want to see looking back at you? Then, the challenging part, what is stopping you from seeing that image you want to see? What comes up? The moment you say, "You beautiful," nah, you got some blemishes and you got this going on and you missing this and your edges ain't. You actually you oh, you better than what you nah, because when they say this, that's the what comes up the moment you try to see different, because that's what we got to fight against, or it will always be true. The true value of you lies behind the false positive, and you have to fight to see past that by any means necessary. What I mean in that is there will be times where we get false positives, right? Like when you're taking a test or something. And it would look like it's correct, but something actually was wrong with it to make it not valid, right? So let's say my phone is dry. Don't nobody want to talk to me. I ain't hearing from nobody. Don't nobody care. They just leaving me out here. They didn't invite me to the party. However, you've isolated yourself. You stop calling, you stop coming around. When people invite you to parties and when people invite you out to go hang out, you decline. And so you decline so much, they're like, I'm not even finna bother asking because they keep saying no. So I don't like being rejected. So I'm gonna stop asking. So that's a false positive where you can see this is what's happening, but it's really false because you kind of set up things to make it look away. So if I still think I don't have any worth, am I acting in that way? Have I believed it because it's been said so long that I keep doing things that follow that pattern? So even though it is a lie, I'm making it true because I keep doing it in order to stop it from being the truth because it's not. We know it's a lie. We know it's a lie. You have to then identify this is what I want to see. But what keeps coming up to make me say, I can't do that. I can't be that. You know what? They was right. See, because I see this and I see that and I see this. And I'm gonna tell you like this: the object is to not just stop them from coming and to beat yourself up when they come. The object is to they come and you got something waiting for 'em. The thought's gonna come in to try to say you ain't X, Y, and Z, and you're ready, baby. You didn't spoke over yourself today. You didn't did what you needed to do. You didn't saw what you needed to see. And when that thought try to come and make you think otherwise, you got something for it. You got something to come against it. And then eventually it will stop. Eventually it will stop. So you can have grace of yourself when they do come. Because they gotta come so that you can fight. The war has to happen for you to be the victor. Victory over what if the war ain't came? If the words ain't came? So you have to, they gonna come. What you doing with them when they come to the door? Hmm? Now, every said false positive sometimes checks off one box, but it doesn't check off all the boxes. But we sometimes go off of that small check box. Exactly. Exactly. So what he's saying is if I believe something and you do this one little thing, I immediately assume it for, I assume it for the whole thing. When that was the only thing that was checked. The other stuff wasn't because I see myself that way. So all I need is one thing to prove it as such. And I believe it. I still believe it. They got to be the thing. That's how the enemy works. He's crafty, he's cunning, but you're stronger. You're a victor. You're still here to fight him. You're here to fight him. So, number one, see what you see. Go look in the mirror, write down everything that comes up, and identify where did that sight first start? Whose eyes are you looking through? Number two, what do you want to see? Write down what you want to see when you look in that mirror. And then be honest with yourself. What keeps coming up to make you question if you can see that? What comes up? What comes up? Then now you have a something that you know you got to fight against, right? Now you know what you got to fight against. That thing that came up. Again, it ain't gonna be easy, but it's gonna be real. It's gonna be real for you. Because now it's the audacity for me. You think you're gonna keep coming to talk to me like that? And that's what even made me get over some things and stop seeing myself as a darkie. Baby, I'm not dark, I'm chocolate. You better get into it. Honey, listen. But it took a while of me saying that before I believed that. Loving my hair, listen. And I loved myself. But it's the constant, right? That when the thing wants to come up, you have to have something to come against it. And the word is a great tool as well. All right. Number three, become what you want to see in real life. If you want to see somebody that is forgiving and shows grace to themselves, start doing it over something small and then make it grow big. See, we think we're going to start big. No, baby, you setting yourself up for disappointment. Small accomplishments, and then they get bigger. The word even says you were faithful over few things. I'll make you ruler over many. Do not forsake the small beginnings. It has to start off small. The seed starts off small and then it grows into a beautiful tree with fruit for you to eat off of. It starts off small. So do the things that line up with the person that you want to see. If you want to see a new man in the mirror, evaluate your actions and how you speak to that man in the mirror. Do the opposite. Speak the opposite. The man in the mirror doesn't just show up when you look in the mirror. You're with yourself all day. Speak to yourself all day. Do what you're trying to come against. Sometimes we have to speak, and some things we just got to change. Some things can be altered by you speaking, because we speak faith. And then some things you have to change. Faith without works is dead. Faith is you speaking the thing, but without you doing anything to back up or put weight on what you spoke. So you must become, do it, change it, make a decision. I'm just going to change this. Get some audacity. Huh? Get some audacity. Baby, listen. Welcome to the month of audacity. Do you hear me? Let our ancestors fuel you. They had all the audacity to believe in their value and their worth and who they were and whose they were. That's enough to fuel you and say, the audacity of you to try to make me think that I'm not who I am and that I'm not whose I am. Let me remind myself, self, you are the king, you are the queen of a king. You are the king of a king. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. Avery, listen, we're going to break this thing down. Avery made a point. He said, if anybody's ever seen Candyman, you must say his name 3 times, and he will appear. If that concept the media understands, you have the same concept. Speak to that man in the mirror so that so that she can appear. If you change some things, if you change some ways, if you change some actions, your posture will start to change. And the next time you look in the mirror, you will see someone different. You will see someone different. I am excited for who you're going to start seeing. I'm excited for your application. If you have anything that you want to say, any feedback you want to give right now, we're at the end of the discussion. Go ahead and bring it on, the conversations, the thoughts, the concerns. Because let me make this very clear. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to perceive yourself like, I got this. I don't need to. No, baby, we ain't doing that. Because your transparency will help somebody. My pastor taught me that a long time ago. You can't help anyone if you ain't willing to be transparent. Because you're not perfect, but you're presenting perfection. Oops. So, in order to heal, we got to keep it real. Is there anybody out there that has anything to say about the man in the mirror? Anyone. Give you a little time to chime in before we get to our raffle hour. What say ye? Hmm. Brady said, that was me. That was me. Thank you for your transparency. Tamika says, the person that's holding me back is myself. Yes. Now, I've heard that a few times in my therapy sessions with some of my clients. And the reality is, you become afraid to break loose of the image that you've believed in and thought. You become afraid of what that might mean. Lord Jesus, I'm going to ahead and step on a limb on this one. I've had people tell me if they actually see who they want to be and they actually learn to love themselves and they actually do the things, they might mess around and not be in the relationship they're in right now. Whether it's me and this person will stop being friends, and I've been knowing them for so long, but it's been unhealthy for so long. And you don't have to even end that friendship. Don't assume that the moment you start loving you and start valuing you and start putting boundaries, that that person is going to leave or that relationship has to end. Start doing the thing. Invite them into the transformation. Invite them into the change. I realize that I haven't really been honest with you. There's some things that I really don't like, some things I really want to start doing. Sometimes I need to make for me, and I just want you to learn, to understand that, to appreciate that, whether you're talking to a friend, whether you're talking to a romantic partner. Bring them along with you. I always tell my couples, don't start the journey alone. Because when you start switching up on them, they're going to say, you switching up. And you're like, no, I'm trying to heal. And then here come the argument that's not necessary when you can let them know I'm doing something for me. So if I start moving different, I start setting boundaries, I start saying certain things, it's because I realize I've been not being honest with me, therefore I've not been honest with you. And so this is not to get rid of you, but this is to love me. Now, what a few things may happen. They may see that and start making some changes too, because you was honest and real, or they may not. And you govern yourself accordingly. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't pushing nothing. Brittany said, I always wanted to appear that I was well put together. We do that. We do that. We do that. Because if we actually showed brokenness, we feel like people would judge us. They wouldn't trust us. They wouldn't want to come and talk to us. They wouldn't see. We mistake not letting people understand the truth with value and worth. We think that we're going to lose value and worth in their eyes if we let them know we're actually going through something. And now you're caught in your own bondage of perfection, and you can never let your hair down. But I'm going to say this. The day I let my hair down, let me explain something to you. I felt so free. It was like rivers of it was like rivers of running water, child. Free yourself because the same people that's looking at you as perfect, they are not. They are not. And you actually could help somebody with your transparency. Now, you don't have to be transparent with everybody now, be wise. But you have children looking up to you that are trying to figure out how to do this thing called life. You have nieces and nephews. You have people at your job. You have other adults, and they value and see your worth. And the moment you keep it real and say, you know what, I struggle with that sometimes, and that's what I'm working on, it will free them. And then they'll be able to be freed and actually start loving themselves too. So again, it goes back to your self worth, it goes back to your value. You get in your own way because you're afraid that your value and your worth in that person's eyes may go down and or certain things have to end. And to be honest with you, that is true. But you also know that because God has a has a way of pruning people from you. He has a way of exposing their um true intentions. He has a way of revealing some things to you. He has a way of you being uncomfortable all of a sudden. He has a way of making you see things that you didn't see before. He has a way of you valuing, desiring more when you never wanted before because it's time to cut, to love you, love them, and do the growing. Like I said, it doesn't always mean something has to end. It doesn't. The only thing that has to end is you not loving yourself. That's the thing that has to end. So see what you see, identify who you want to see, and then become them in real life. And whoever you once saw, look past them. Look past them and see the man or woman in the mirror who is made in God's image, loved, forgiven, valued, validated, worthy, appreciated, wonderfully made, and very good. Yes, sir. Yes, honey. Trust the process. Guess what, y'all? It's Mr. Raffle time. If y'all ever saw next Friday, you know where I got that from. It's Mr. Raffle time. So I have all my individuals in the pot. However, you can only win if you're present tonight. So if I call your name, I need you to say, I'm here quickly now in the chat. Because if not, I'm going to go on to the next person. I have two raffles on tonight, and they are our Love Thyself raffles. Now, we have many more to reflect each different day of conversation, but tonight, the Love Thyself raffle. We have a huge raffle, and then we have another one, not as big, but definitely as valuable. As valuable, as valuable. So, who shall be the first? Who shall be the first? Is it the Yuma Baker? I think I'm pronouncing that right. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Dayuma Baker, are you on tonight, girl? Are you here? Are you here? Are you here? Here? Are you here? Here? Let me give you a little bit more time. Little bit more time. Little bit more. All right. We'll have to pull again. Pull another name. Lynette Goodson. Are you here? Lynette Goodson. I'll move on to the next one just to see. Contessa Rashford. Contessa Rashford. All you have to say is, I'm here. Contessa Rashford. Listen, y'all. You missing out. You missing out. You missing out. Tammy Smith. Tammy Smith. Tammy Smith going once, twice. All right, Tammy. Shavonda Young. Shavonda Young. Now you've been talking to her. You better hurry up and say, I'm here, child. Are you still here, Shavonda? Because you got to be present to win. You got to be present to win. And I know you're present because you've been talking to us. So say, I'm here. There you go, girl. We got our first winner. And I'm sure you're going to love what is in there. It is sponsored by the Dior Movement, Lock Bar, Body Bliss, and Shenlentis. So much stuff in our first Love Thyself kit. So I will be getting in contact with you via email for instructions on how you're going to receive your gift. So we got you. And then the second one goes to, it's Sahara Mims. Sahara Mims. Or Sahara, I'm sorry. Sahara Mims. And 5, 4, and 3. Ah, there you go. All right. So again, I'll get with you on how to retrieve your gift as well. You're going to get a Love Thyself kit. And I'm more than sure you're going to like it. I'm more than sure you're going to like it. Um, and that, ladies and gentlemen, are our winners for tonight. I will be sending you both the email tonight to get your, contact information so that I can get you to your gifts. Now, just because I'm such a thoughtful person, the people who were not able to claim on tonight, they're going to go back in here. They will, because they may be here to claim their gift on the next day. But our winners, you have one for tonight. You have one for tonight. And don't be discouraged if I have any married couples on, because you have your raffles as well doing the married segment. So if you don't hear me call your name, that's because you're part of the married raffle. So again, thank you all for joining me on tonight. It's the first day. I hope you learned and gained some information and tips and some kind of beginnings to help to see yourself differently. I will be emailing those who have registered tomorrow on how to access the remainder of the conference. Tomorrow is day 2, and we're talking about voice of value. It's kind of like the part 2 to this, because what you see has been impacted by what you hear. So tomorrow we're going to get into it. So make sure that you follow the link, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful night. Mwah.